Good afternoon. Today we're going to see the solutions of our last assignment. So these questions are about how to solve multivariable linear equations. We'll continue this topic until you feel confident. Okay, this time I gave you an example on how to solve a system of equations like this. If you don't know how to solve or how to correct your errors, please refer to my example here on the first page. Okay? All right, let's see question 1. Okay, note that if we label these two equations here, number 1 and number 2, we can just use number 1 added by number 2, right? And this will give you 3x plus x plus 2x minus y equals 5 plus 0, right? And this is 5x, y is cancelled, equals 5. And this means x equals 1, right? And then we can label this with number 3. Then we can put a 3 into either 1 or 2, right? So here let's put 3 into 1. Then you will get 3 times 1 plus y is 5. And this means y is 5 minus 3, which is 2. So the final answer is x equals 1, y equals 2. Okay? Any questions here? Okay, and again, also you can use substitution method, right? Okay. Let me write here. Okay, so this is called elimination method. And if we use substitution method, we can do it like this. From number 2, we can solve at y in terms of x, right? Y is 2x. Okay, suppose we denote this with number a. Then we can put equation a into equation 1. Then you will get 3x plus y. Y is actually 2x, right? Equals 5. And this means 5x is 5. That gives you x equals 1. Okay, and let's label this with b. Then we can put b back into a to get y equals 2, right? So again, the conclusion is x is 1 and y is 2. Okay, any questions? No? All right, let's see number 2. Okay, so first, let's use elimination method. Okay, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. To eliminate one of the variables, we can use equation 1 minus equation 2, right? And this will give you 2x plus y minus x plus y equals 2 minus 0, right? Left hand side minus left hand side, right hand side subtracted by right hand side. And then this will give you x equals 2, right? Okay, so let's label this with number 3. Then we can put 3 into 2, right? This time it is easier that if we can put number 3 into 2. So this will give you 2 plus y equals 0. That means y is minus 2, right? Okay, so now the conclusion is x is 2, y is minus 2, right? Any questions? Okay, again, you can also use the second method, which is called substitution. Okay, to use substitution, we can either solve x in terms of y or solve y in terms of x, right? So this time, let's solve x in terms of y. So from equation 2, we can get x equals minus y, right? Pay attention to this. If we put the term on the left-hand side to the other side of the equation, the positive sign becomes a negative sign, okay? Pay attention here. So let's label this with A. Then we can put A into the other equation, which is equation 1. Then you will get 2x means 2 multiplied by minus y, right? Because x is minus y. So let's substitute x with minus y. Plus y equals 2. And this will give you minus y equals 2. Okay, that means you can solve y is minus 2, right? Okay, so the conclusion again is x, or we haven't solved for x yet. Okay, suppose we denote this with equation b. Then we can put equation b back into a, right? And then you will get x is minus y is minus 2. So minus minus 2 is 2, right? And then we can make the conclusion. X is 2, y is minus 2. This is our final result. Okay, you can choose either method. Okay, have a look at this. Do you have any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Okay, again, let's see method 1, elimination method. Okay, this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. To eliminate one of the variables, we need to find their least common multiple, right? So we can either eliminate x, which you will need 15x, right? Or we can eliminate y. In that case, you need to time a 3 to both sides of the first equation. So let's eliminate y because it seems easier, right? You have a positive sign and negative sign, so it's easier to eliminate y. So let's times a 3 to both sides of equation 1, and then you will get 9x plus 6y equals 9, right? And let's label it with 3. And then to eliminate y, you can see here we have a positive and negative 6y, right? So in order to eliminate y, we can use equation 2 plus equation 3. And this will give you 5x minus 6y plus 9x plus 6y equals minus 23 plus 9, right? And then we can simplify this equation, which you will get 14x. Y has been eliminated, right? This is why we call this elimination method. 14x equals minus 14. And we can solve x is minus 1, right? Let's call this 4. And then we can put 4 into 1. Then you will get minus 3 plus 2y equals 3. This you will get y is 3, right? So now we can make the conclusion. X is minus 1. Y is 3. This is our final result. All right? Have a look at this. Do you have any questions? No? All right, let's see how we can use method 2, substitution method. Okay, again, from equation 1, we can solve x in terms of y or solve y in terms of x, right? Okay, so this time let's solve y in terms of x. 2y equals 3 minus 3x. That means y is 3 minus 3x over 2. So let's call this equation A. Then we can put equation A into equation 2. This is to substitute y with x, right? So in this way, you will get 5x minus 6 times y. Y is actually 3 minus 3x over 2, right? And this equals minus 23. Okay, now let's simplify this equation here. Okay, 5x, copy that, minus 6, cancel with 2 is 3, right? 3 times 3 minus 3x. Okay, do it slowly, one step at a time to avoid confuse with the signs here. Next, 5x minus 9. Again here, pay attention to the sign. Minus, minus, you will get a plus sign, right? Plus 9x equals minus 23. And this, you will get 14x equals minus 14, right? This means x equals minus 1. So let's call this b. Then we can put b into a, right? And then you will get y equals 3 minus 3 times x. X is minus 1 over a 2, which is 3, right? Okay, so now we can make the conclusion. X is minus 1, y is 3. This is the final solution. Okay, do you have any questions? No? Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, question 4. Again, let's see method 1, elimination method. Okay, let's label them with number 1 and number 2. To use elimination method, we can either eliminate x or eliminate y, right? If we want to eliminate y, we need to times 3 to equation 1, right? And times 2 to both sides of equation 2. And if we want to eliminate x, we only need to time 2 to both sides of equation 1. So it seems easier to eliminate x there, right? Okay, so now let's eliminate variable x here. We need to time a 2 to both sides of equation 1. And this will give you 2x minus 4y equals 12. Let's call this 3. And then we can use equation 2 subtracted by equation 3, right? Equation 2 minus equation 3. And this will give you 2x plus 3y minus 2x minus 4y. Left hand side minus left hand side. Okay, right hand side 19 minus right hand side. Okay, and then let's simplify the new equation here. This will give you 2x minus 2x is 0, right? 3y minus 4y means 3y plus 4y. That is 7y, right? 7y equals 7. So that means y is 1. So let's label this with 4. Then we can put equation 4 into either 1 or 2. So let's put it in 1. This will give you x minus twice of y means 2 equals 6. And this will give you x is actually 8, right? So here you can make the conclusion now. X is 8, y is 1. And this is our final solution. Okay, have a look at this. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see the second method, which is substitution. Okay, from equation 1, we can solve x in terms of y or y in terms of x, right? It seems easier to solve x in terms of y, because if we solve y in terms of x, you will get ratios, right? Usually we don't like ratios, we like integers. So from equation 1, we can solve x equals 6 minus 2y, right? Okay, let's call this equation A. Then we can put equation A back into the other equation, which is 2, right? And then you can substitute all x's with 6 minus 2y. So that means twice of 6 minus 2y plus 3y equals 19, right? And then we can simplify this equation. You will get 12 minus 4y plus 3y equals 19. And then you can solve that y is actually minus 7. So let's call this equation B. Then we can put B back into A. And this gives you x equals 6 minus twice of y, which is minus 7. Minus minus is positive. So x is 20, right? Anything wrong here? Sorry, I made a mistake here. Let me check. Here is should not be a. Did you see the mistake? Here should be a positive sign, not a negative, right? Because when we put negative 2y into the right-hand side of the equation, the sign becomes positive. Okay, so again, here is a positive sign. So that means 12 plus 4y plus 3y equals 19, right? Okay, so here y should be 1. And let's put y equals 1 back into A. That means x is 6 plus twice of y, which is twice of 1, which means x is actually 8. Okay, so here the conclusion is x is 8 and y is 1. This is our final solution. Sorry about that. Okay, have a look at this. Do you have any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Okay, next question. Question 5. Okay, again, I'll show you the first method, which is called elimination. So how do we eliminate one of the variables? We can simply use equation 1 subtracted by equation 2, or equation 2 subtracted by equation 1, right? So, okay, let's use 1 minus 2. This gives you 3x plus 2y subtracted by 3x minus y equals 12 minus 3, right? left hand side minus left hand side, right hand side minus right hand side. Okay, and this will give you 3x is eliminated. 2y minus y gives you 3y. So 3y equals 9, right? And that means y is 3. Okay, let's call this number 3. Let's put 3 back into either 1 or 2. 2 seems easier, right? So let's put 3 into 2. That means 3x minus 3 equals 3. So this will give you x is 3x minus 3 is 3, and this will give you x is actually 2, right? Okay, now we can make the conclusion. X is 2, y is 3, and this is our final solution. Okay, any questions here? Okay, if you don't have any questions, let's have a look at method 2, which is called substitution. So how do we substitute one variable with the other? Okay, note that we can solve y in terms of x from the second equation, right? This seems easier because from equation 1, if you solve one with the other, you will introduce ratios, which we don't like, right? So let's start from equation 2, and this will give you y equals 3x minus 3, right? No ratios, looks neat, right? Okay, let's call this equation 1. Then we can put equation 1 into equation, let's put, now we can put equation A into equation 1, right? And you can substitute all y with 3x minus 3. So that means 3x plus twice of y. Y is 3x minus 3 equals 12, okay? And now let's simplify this equation. 3x plus 6x minus 6 equals 12. And this will give you 9x equals 18. So that means x is 2. Let's call this equation B. Okay, and then we can put B back into equation A to solve for y. Y is 3 times of x, which means 3 times of 2 minus 3, which means y is actually 3, right? So now we solved both x and y. X is 2 and y is 3. This is our final solution. All right, have a look at this. Do you have any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Question 6. Okay, method 1, let's see how we can use elimination method. Okay, let's label them with 1 and 2. All right, so let's line them up. In this way, we can easily see how we can eliminate one of the variables. So let's see, this is 3 and 4. Okay, now we can see that to eliminate x or y, actually it's easier to eliminate y, right? To eliminate y, all you need to do is to time a 2 to both sides of 3, right? And this will give you okay, actually, we don't need to label the original two equations. Let's label this with 1 and 2 to save some labels there. So time a 2 to both sides of equation 1. This will give you 4x minus 2y equals 16. So let's call this number 3. Then how do we eliminate y? We can use equation 3 minus equation 1, right? And this will give you 4x minus 2y minus 3. Oh, sorry, this should be equation 2. Equation 3 minus equation 2, which means 4x minus 2y minus 3x minus 2y here equals 16 minus 11. Okay, let's put it here. And then this will give you 4x minus 3x is x. Minus 2y minus 2y is 0. So x equals 5. Then actually we have solved for x, right? So let's call this 4. Then we can put equation 4 into 1 or 2, right? So let's put it in 1. And this will give you 2 times 5 minus y equals 8. And y is 2, right? So in this way, we solved x is 5 and y is 2. This is our final solution. Again, you can verify your result by putting them back into the original equations. Okay, any questions? No? All right, let's see the second method. Whoa. Second method, which is called substitution. Okay, note that from equation 1, we can solve y in terms of x, which is y is 2x minus 8. Let's call this a. And then we can put a into equation 2, right? And this will give you 3x minus twice of y, which means twice of 2x minus 8 equals 11. And then we can simplify. 3x minus 4x plus 16 is 11. And actually x is 5. This is solution for x, right? So let's call this b. Then we can put b back into a. And this will give you y equals twice of x, which is twice of 5 minus 8, which is 2. And again, we reach the same solution. X is 5, y is 2. Okay, it's very simple, right? No ratios, no decimals, all integers. So have a look at this. Do you have any questions? Oh, okay, let's see the next one. Question 7. Okay, first let's label them with 1 and 2. Okay, method 1. I'll show you the elimination method. So to eliminate, which variable should we eliminate? Y seems easier, right? Because you only need to use equation 1 plus equation 2. So equation 1 plus equation 2 will give you 2x plus y minus 4. This is the left-hand side, right? Plus left-hand side of the second equation. Right-hand side, both 0, right? So let's simplify. 2x, 3x means 5x. Y minus y is 0. Minus 4 minus 6 is minus 10. So we have solved x is actually 2, right? So let's label this with 3. Then we can put 3 back into either 1 or 2. So this time let's put it back into equation 1. And this will give you twice of 2, 2 by 2, plus y minus 4 is 0. And this will give you y is 4 minus 4, which is 0, right? So that means the final solution of the system is x is 2, y is 0, right? Any questions? No? All right, let's see method 2. Substitution. Okay, in order to use substitution, you should solve x in terms of y or solve y in terms of x, right? So it seems that it's easier to solve y in terms of x. So let's start from equation 2. Equation 2 gives you y equals 3x minus 6, right? Because when you put minus y in the right-hand side of the equation, you will get y is 3x minus 6. So let's call this equation A. Then we can put A into the other equation, which is 1. And this will give you 2x plus y. Y is actually 3x minus 6. And then minus 4 equals 0. Then you will get 5x plus minus 10 is 0. And then you can solve x is actually 2, right? So let's call this B. Then we can put B back into A. This will give you y is 3 by 2 minus 6, which is 0, right? And we reach the same solution with method 1, which is x is 2, y is 0. This is our final solution. Okay, have a look at this. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see question 8. All right, question 8. Again, we could use elimination or substitution, right? Okay, let's simplify this. Okay, let's see method 1. Elimination. So in order to eliminate one of the variables, you need to find the least common multiple of the coefficient of one of the variables. Suppose here we want to eliminate x, then you need to time a 9 to both sides of the first equation, right? In that way, you will get 3x there. So let's time a 9 to both sides of equation 1. And this will give you 3x. Is this 3x? Yes, 3x minus 9y over 4 equals 9, right? Okay, so let's see. This is labeled with 3. And then how do we eliminate x? You can use 2 minus 3 or 3 minus 2, right? So how about equation 3 minus equation 2. And this will give you 3x minus 9y over 4 minus left-hand side of 2 is 3x minus 4y. Okay, and right-hand side 9 minus right-hand side 2. Okay, then you can simplify the equation, which is 4y minus 9y over 4 is 7, right? Okay, now we need to solve for y here. 4y is actually 16y over 4, right? And minus 9y here. So this is why we have practiced a lot to write the expression in a common denominator. Okay, so this means 7y equals 7 by 4, right? That means y is 4. Okay, let's label this with 4. Then we can put 4 back into equation 1, right? So that means x over 3 minus 4 over 4 is 1 equals 1. And this will give you x is 6, right? Okay, let's write the conclusion here. So the conclusion is x is 6, y is 4. This is our final result. Okay, have a look at this. Any questions? All right, if you don't have any questions, let's have a look at method 2, substitution. Okay, we can use x, we can solve x in terms of y or y in terms of x, right? So let's start from equation 1. X over 3 is 1 plus y over 4, right? And that means x is 3 plus 3y over 4. So let's call this equation A. Then we can put equation A into the other equation, which is number 2. Then you will get 3 times of x, means 3 times 3 plus 3y over 4 minus 4y equals 2, right? And then we can simplify this equation, which you will get 9 plus 9y over 4 minus 4y equals 2, right? So that means 4y minus 9y over 4 equals 7. And then let's write the first terms with a common denominator, which is 4 is the denominator, right? First term is 16y minus 9y equals 7. That means 7y equals 7 by 4. Okay, that means y is 4, right? So let's call this B. Then we can put B back into A, which will get x is 3 plus 3 times 4 over 4, which is 6, right? So again, we have reached the same conclusion. X is 6 and y is 4. Okay, have a look at this. Any questions, please let me know. Questions? All right, let's see the next one. Okay, next one. You can solve this, use elimination method. elimination. Okay, to use the elimination method, we need to organize the equations in a concise way, right? So first equation gives us, okay, let's times a 10 to both sides of the equation. And this will give you twice of x plus 1 minus 5 of y minus 1 equals minus 10, right? And let's simplify this. 2x plus 2 minus 5y plus 5, right? Again, pay attention to the sign here. This is a plus 5, not minus 5, right? Okay, so 2x minus 5y equals minus 17, right? Okay, so let's call this number 3. And from number 2, we can get, so this time let's eliminate y. To eliminate y, we need to time a 5 to both sides of the equation, right? That means 5x plus 5y equals 10. So let's call this 4. So in order to eliminate one of the variables, we can use 3 plus 4. That means 2x minus 5y plus 5x plus 5y equals minus 17 plus 10, right? That means 7x equals minus 7. Okay, so we solved x equals minus 1. Let's call this number 5. Then we can put number 5 into number 2, right? It seems easier to put it in number 2. This will give you minus 1 plus y equals 2. That means y is 3. So now we can make the conclusion. X is minus 1 and y is 3, right? Any questions? No? All right, let's see method 2. Substitution. Okay, this time we start from equation 2, because from equation 2 we can easily solve that y is 2 minus x, right? So let's label this with a. And then we can put equation a into equation 1, and this will get you, all right, I think it's better to put it in 3 because there is no ratios. So let's put a into 3. 3 is here, right? Okay, if you put it back into 3, that means 2x minus 5y. 5y means 5 of 2 minus x equals minus 17, right? And then let's organize this equation. 2x minus 10 plus 5x is minus 17. So that means 7x equals minus 7 and x is minus 1. So let's call this b. Then we can put b back into a to solve for y. Okay, this will give you y equals 2 minus 1, which is 3. So again, the conclusion is x is minus 1 and y is 3, right? Okay, any questions? Okay, let's see equation 10, system 10. Okay, first, let's reorganize the equation because the second equation is not in its simplest form, right? So let's reorganize the equation here. X minus y is 3. 3x plus 2y equals, sorry, it should be minus y, right? 2y minus 3y is minus y is 11, right? Let's start from here. Okay, from this equation on, I will not show both of the methods. I will choose the optimal method, okay? So again, you can see from here, it's better to use, well, actually both method is very easy, right? So let's label them with 1 and 2. Okay, this time let's use substitution. Okay, from equation 1, we can get y is x minus 3, right? Let's call this equation 3. And then you can put 3 into 2, which you will get 3x minus y. Minus y means minus x minus 3, right? And this is 11. And then 3x minus x, 2x minus 3 is plus 3, right? 2x plus 3 is 11. That means 2x is 8. And then we can solve x is actually 4. So let's label this with number 4. Then we can put number 4 back into number 3, right? Then you will get y is 4 minus 3, which is 1, right? So now what is the conclusion? The conclusion is x is 4 and y is 1, right? Okay, I'm not going to show you the other method. If you're interested in that, you can try that after this class, all right? Any questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, let's see next one. Okay, next one. First, let's reorganize the equation. So the original equation is equivalent to, okay, the first equation, let's eliminate all the ratios there. We can times rate both sides of the equation, right? That will give you x minus 3y equals minus 3, right? You see that? Okay, next one, 2x minus y equals 4, right? This looks neater, right? Okay, so let's label this with 1 and 2. Okay, then from 2, we can solve y in terms of x. Y is actually 2x minus 4, right? So let's call this 3. And then we can put 3 into 1. This will give you x minus 3y. 3y means 3 times 2x minus 4. And this is minus 3. Okay? And then we can simplify this equation. X minus 6x plus, again here, this is a plus sign, right? Because minus 3 times minus 4 is plus 12. Okay, and this will give you 5x equals 15. So x is 3. Let's call this number 4. Then we can put number 4 into number 3 to solve for y. Y is twice of x, means 2 times 3 minus 4, which is 2, right? Okay, so the conclusion is x is 3 and y is 2. All right, any questions? No? Okay, let's see the next one. Question 12. Okay, again, the second equation is not very neat, right? So let's simplify the second equation first. Just copy the first and simplify the second. The second equation can be simplified to 5x minus 3x is 2x, right? And then minus 3y equals 1. And now they look neat. Let's label them with 1 and 2. Okay, this time we're gonna use substitution. Okay, and from equation 1, we can solve y is 3 minus x. Let's label this with 3. So now we can put 3 into 2. And this will give you 2x minus 3 times y, means 3 times 3 minus x equals 1, right? Okay, from here we can solve x. 2x minus 9. Again, here, pay attention to the sign here. This should be a plus sign, plus 3x, right? Equals 1. Okay, so 5x equals 10, right? That means x is 2. Let's label this with 4. And then we can put 4 into 3, which will get y is 3 minus x. X is 2. So that means y is 1. Okay, so now the conclusion is x equals 2 and y equals 1, right? Okay, any questions? We're okay, right? Can you follow me? Okay, next one. Okay, next one, note that we have the reciprocal of x and y, right? So it is not a linear equation. Okay, it's the original note. I'll write it here. Note that the original equations are not linear, but we can convert it to linear equations, right? So how do we do that? We can use substitution method. So let x, the reciprocal of x equals m, and 1 over y is n. So then the original equation becomes 2m minus n equals 3. And m plus n is 3, right? This new equation now is linear equations. This is a linear equations. So we can use the methods that we are familiar with to solve linear equations, right? Let's label this with 1 and 2. So how do we solve this? We can use 1 plus 2, right? This will give you 3m equals 6, which means m is 2, right? Okay, now we solve m. We need to solve the other variable, right? So let's call this 3. Then we can put 3 into either 1 or 2, right? So let's put it in 2. This will give you 2 plus n is 3. And you can solve n is actually 1, right? Okay, be careful here. It's not over yet because we want to solve x and y, right? Because we have solved m is 2, that means 1 over x is 2, right? So that means x is 1 over 2, right? Okay, again, 1 over y is n. You have solved n is 1, so that means 1 over y is 1. That means y is 1. So in this way, we have solved x and y. Now we can make the conclusion. X is 1 over 2 and y is 1. All right? Do not time xy to both sides of the equation. That will only complicate the question, okay? You can use substitution method. Okay, this is called substitution method. Okay, pay attention here. Now, do you understand? Do we have any questions here? No? Okay. Next one. All right, again, this is not linear equation, right? This is not linear equation because we have square root of x. So let's use substitution to substitute the square root of x with another letter. So let square root of x equals m. Then the original equation becomes 5m plus y equals 7. And 3m minus y equals 1, right? And now they are linear system. So how do we solve this? Again, we can use equation 1 plus equation 2, right? This will give you 8m equals 8. So that means m is 1. So let's call this 3. Then we can put 3 into number 2. Then you will get 3 minus y equals 1, right? And that means y is 2. Okay, now we want to solve x and y. We have already know y and m, right? But because square root of x equals m, which is 1, that means x is 1, right? And then now we can make the conclusion. Final result is x is 1 and y is 2. Okay, any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Next one, again, this is not a linear system, but we can use substitution to substitute x to the 5th and y to the 3rd, right? Okay, so let me use let x to the 5th equals m and y to the 3rd equals n. So the original equations become m plus n is 3 and m minus n is minus 1, right? So let's call this 1 and 2. From here, we can easily solve m and n. So that means, okay, we can use equation 1 plus equation 2. This will give you 2m equals 2. That means m is 1, right? Okay, so let's call this 3. Then we can put 3 into 1, right? Okay, that means 1 plus n is 3. And we can solve n is actually 2. Okay, so now we know that m and n, and because x to the 5th is m, which is 1, right? So that means x is 1. And y to the 3rd is n, which is 2. Okay, so that means y is 2 to the 1/3, right? Or you can write it this way. It's a cube root of 2, right? Okay, so now we can make the conclusion. X is 1, y is cube root of 2 is a solution to the original system. Okay, have a look at these. Any questions? No? Are you sure? Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, next one. Again, this is not a linear system, right? But to use substitution method, we can convert this to a linear system. So we can let square root of x equals m and square root of y equals n. And the original equation becomes 3m minus n equals 5 and 5m plus 2n equals 23, right? Okay, so this new system is now a linear system. So we can follow the method that we can use to solve linear system to solve the new system. Once we have solved m and n, then we know what is x and y. Okay, so this time we'll use a substitution method to solve the new system. So from equation 1, we know that n is actually 3m minus 5, right? Let's call this number 3. So now let's put number 3. Okay, I'll write it here. Let's put number 3 into number 2. And this will give you 5m plus 2n. That means 2 times 3m plus 5 equals 23, right? And then we can simplify this equation. 5m plus 6m minus 10 equals 23, right? Okay, that means 11m equals 33. So what is m here? That means m is 3, right? So let's label this with 4. Then we can put 4 into 3, right? And this will give you n is 3m. 3m is 9. 9 minus 5 is 4. So, okay, here we have m and n. So that means square root of x is 3. That means x is 3 to the 3 squared, which is 9, right? And square root of y is 4, right? That means y is 4 squared, which is 16, right? So now we know that the solution of the original system is x is 9 and y is 16. Okay? Any questions? Please let me know. No questions? All right, let's see next one. Okay, suppose that x equals 5 minus 6t and y is 7 plus 12t. Find y in terms of x. Okay, the principle behind this is that we have three variables, right? Three variables are x, y, and t. We have already know that the connection between x and t by this equation, right? And the connection, the relationship between y and t is expressed by this equation, right? Okay, suppose this is A, this is B, A is here, B is here, right? And the question really asks us to find the relationship between X and Y. That is to find Y in terms of X, right? So this is the principle behind the whole concept here. So how do we do this? Okay, from A, actually, we can find T in terms of X, right? Okay, so how do we do this? 6t is 5 minus x. That means t is 5 minus x over 6, right? So let's call this c. Then we can put c to eliminate the t here, right? Put c into b. In this way, we can eliminate t and establish the relationship between x and y. Okay, so this will give you y is 7 plus 12t. T is actually 5 minus x over 6, right? So this means 7 plus 10 minus 2x. 7 plus 10 minus 2x. Yes. So that means y is actually minus 2x plus 17, right? In this way, we have solved y in terms of x, right? Do you understand? So this is another application of what? Substitution, right? This is actually an application of substitution. Okay, have a look at this. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, next one, find the value of constant a such that the system of equations has infinitely many solutions x and y. So in order to find the value of a, actually the method is to treat a as a number and try to solve these equations, okay? So let's see, I'll write it here. Method is to treat a as a number. That means to treat the equation as normal equations, right? And try to solve x and y like in a normal system of equations. So how do we do this? So first of all, let's actually we can use substitution method, right? Okay, so from equation 1, we can solve x in terms of y, right? So 3x equals 7 minus 4y. And x is actually 7 minus 4y over 3, right? Actually, we don't need to solve x here. We only need to solve 3x because 6x is twice of 3x, right? So we can just put 3x into the second equation. So let's label this with 3. And then we can put 3 into equation number 2. And this will give you, okay, note 6x is twice of 3x, right? Okay, what is 3x here? 3x, you have solved 3x. 3x is actually 7 minus 4y, right? And equals 4a minus 6 minus 8y, right? Okay, I'll write it here. And then this means 14 minus 8y equals 4a minus 6 minus 8y, right? So in the first glance, we can eliminate the 8y, right? But do not do that because now we want to solve for a. If you want to solve for a, it's better to leave the 8 there. So that means we can put this to the left-hand side of the equation. This will give you 8 minus 8y equals 4a minus 6 minus 4a minus 6 minus 14, right? So that means 0 times y equals how many there? 4a minus 20, right? So we need to look back to the question. What is the question here? The question asks you what the value of a should be in order to make infinite solutions for y. Okay, so pay attention here. The left-hand side is always 0, no matter y is. The left-hand side is always 0, right? So in order to make it many solutions, as long as 4a minus 20 is 0, there are many solutions for y, right? Okay, so the conclusion is if 4a minus 20 is 0, that is a is 5. The right-hand side is 0, right? Left-hand side is 0, right-hand side is 0, no matter y is. That means we can have many solutions for y. So if 4a minus 20 is 0, that is, if a is 5, there are infinite solutions. Okay, are we clear here? Because we have practiced such questions for twice, right? So after this time, you should be confident. You should feel confident with such a problem. Okay, next time when you meet a similar problem, you should be able to solve it. Any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Next question is the last question, all right? So the method is actually the same with our previous question. Okay, I'll make a note here, okay? After the class, you can have a look at this question, okay? Hint. The methods is the same. With Q3, okay? What is the method? We treat A as a number and try to solve the system as what we can do in a normal system of equations, right? Okay, so let's label this with 1 and 2. This time we can start from 2 and use substitution method. Equation 2 tells us y is 3x minus 1, right? Then let's label this with 3. Okay, then we can put 3 into 1, right? Then you will get ax minus 2y. 2y means twice of 3x minus 1. Minus 3 equals 0. Okay, now let's simplify this equation. Ax minus 6x plus 2 minus 3 is 0, right? Okay, because here you want to solve for x, so let's combine all the terms that contains x, which is a minus 6x equals 3 minus 2 is 1, right? And now from this equation, actually we can solve for x, right? How to solve for x here? You can divide both sides with a minus 6, right? But pay attention, before you do that, a minus 6 could not be 0 because you could not use 0 as denominator, right? Okay, so let's look back to the question. Question is, what value of a should be such that the system has no solution? Okay, so let's start from here. A here could be any value, except a cannot be 6, right? So if a is 6, the left-hand side is 0 times x is 1, right? So no matter no matter what value x is, there is no solution. Do you understand? Because any number times a 0 is 0, cannot be a 1. So if a minus 6 is 0, that means in that case, there is no solution. Okay, so if a minus 6 is 0, which means a is 6, there is no solution. If there is no solution for x, of course there is no solution for y, right? Because there is a connection between x and y. If you cannot solve for x, of course you cannot solve for y. Otherwise, both of them have a value, right? Do you understand? There is a little analysis process here. Okay, can you see the connection between questions 3 and 4? So next time, be careful with these questions, all right? Do not make the same mistakes again. Okay, so are we clear here? Any questions? Okay, before you leave, do try to correct your mistakes on your error book, okay? Because we cannot repeat the same questions again and again. So next time, please do try to think about these. Okay, I'll upload my notes onto Google Classroom. If you need, you can refer to my notes to correct your mistakes, okay? Thank you very much. If you don't have any questions, you can leave the class. Do try to read my notes after the class, okay? Put some time on it. Okay, please also remember to download the new assignment later today or early tomorrow. I'll put them up there as soon as possible, okay? Have a nice weekend.